Sorry for the technical glitch. Thank you, Jagruti ma'am, for nice introduction. Ma'am, I want to know that participants are from B Farm or M Farm, or they're the mixed crowd.
The participants are mixed up, maximum are from B farm, some are from the farm D, some are from the PB, and some are from F farm. Clean.
Okay, thank you. Very good morning to everyone. Today I'm here to discuss with you about publication ethics, which are very essential for upholding the research integrity. Now question comes that how this topic is useful for the B Farm, Farm D or PB students. So whenever you are writing a research article, say that in your B Farm or after completing B Farm, you may be writing a research article or presenting your research work in any kind of a reputed journal. So you must be aware about the publication ethics. Publication ethics means these are some rules, regulations which one must be aware about it. And I have seen that maximum times students are not aware about the publication ethics, and that's why unintentionally they are going for the scientific misconduct. For example, ऐसा होता है कि if your guide is saying that to write down the research article, so I observed that I would like to also share my experiences about the publication ethics. So whenever we are saying to our student that please write down this research article or write down the review article, when you will be doing M.Pharm or when you will be doing any kind of post-graduation, so of course you will find that your guide is saying to write down the review article at the beginning after doing literature survey. So I observed that student used to copy the thing as it is from that particular X research article and pasting in the manuscript. So actually whether he knows that it is okay or not, but I think that due to unawareness, okay, he is copying the thing and pasting in the manuscript, and later same manuscript he is submitting or she is submitting to his guide or her guide. And if guide is not that much serious about the student, so such kind of thing it leads to the publication ethics issues. Someone is speaking in the background. Please stop it. Hello. So that's why it is very essential that you must be aware about the publication ethics. What are the norms, okay? And if you are not following this publication ethics, it may lead to the retraction of that articles, and many more consequences will happen. Even that particular author may be blacklisted in that particular journal, okay? And many more consequences may happen of such kind of scientific misconduct. So today I'll be discussing with you that what kind of norms one must follow while publishing the research article. It is not that much easy job to write a research article and publish it nowadays, because we are living in the era of artificial intelligence where one can easily track from where you have copied the content. We have the iAuthenticate type of the software, we have Turnitin type of the software, which can easily tell to the journality to that whether that material, what are the manuscript which is submitted to the journal, whether it is original one or whether it is copied from some other sources. Okay, so let's first have let's will clear first publication ethics means what. So word ethics, it comes from Greek word which means ethos, and ethos means character. So publication ethics actually it indicates the character of researcher. Okay, publication ethics it indicates the character of researcher. And if a researcher is very holistic, if he is very religious or serious about the research, so I can say that he is a good researcher. So if the character of the researcher is good, so of course he will be following all kind of norms, whether it is related to publication or whether it is related to any other issues in his life. So as it is properly said by Albert Einstein, he says that great scientists are not those who are intellectually high, okay, but great scientists are those have the appropriate character, those who have the appropriate character. So that's why character it matters not only. Again someone is speaking in the background. Please Maratha madam, can you mute all the participants?
Yes, sir.
Can you mute all the participants? Someone is speaking in the background.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So I hope that you understood the ethics means we are talking about the character, okay, And Albert Einstein says that great scientists are not those who are the great at their intellectual, okay, but great scientists are those who has a great character. So if you are having great character, it means of course you will following all the ethics in your life, whether it is related to publication, whether it is related to the research. So we will see that what are different publication ethics. Ethics means in other language I can say that rules and regulations which are very essential for publishing any kind of research content. So let's see the definition part of the publication ethics. So publication ethics means these are the rules and regulation, okay, which is required or with which one researcher should be aware for publishing any kind of scientific result. In other language, I can say that these are the principles and standards associated with the process of publishing the scientific result and to avoid the publication misconduct. So main purpose of publication ethics is to avoid the publication misconduct. Publication misconduct means what? So several people, they are doing unethical practices while publishing their data, and this unethical practices, it comes under the publication misconduct. And just to control the publication misconduct, publication ethics are very essential. Okay, so let's discuss that what different kinds of publication misconduct it is normally done by the people. So the first example is a data fabrication, second is a falsification, third one is a plagiarism, fourth one is a authorship dispute, fifth one is a conflict of interest, and sixth one is a redundant publication. So we'll see all kind of publication misconduct one by one. So first, let's have a discussion about the fabrication. Hello. Madam, someone is speaking in the background. Can you meet all people? Maratha madam.
Mute your mic.
Okay.
Sir,
You please also mute from your end. I think that someone is speaking from cabin. Yes, thank you. So these are different kinds of publication misconduct. So first could be data fabrication, second is the falsification, third one is the plagiarism, fourth one is the authorship dispute, fifth one is the conflict of interest, and duplicate publication or redundant publication. So we will discuss all these unethical practices which is normally done while doing the publications. So what is the meaning of data fabrication? Data fabrication means what? Generating the data without performing any kind of experiment. So most of the people, those who are very smart in Excel, so without performing any kind of animal studies, say that, or performing any kind of experiment, they can generate the graphs and they used to submit it to the publishing house. So without doing any kind of experiment, whenever a researcher is generating the data, so that scientific misconduct, it comes under the fabrications. I would like to quote the example of fabrication, data fabrication. So in India, most of the Ayurvedic companies, as such, they don't need the clinical trials. But most of the Ayurvedic companies, okay, they are saying that they have already carried out the clinical trials of their formulations, and it has been observed that no side effect has been observed with their Ayurvedic formulations. On the other hand, they have not performed any kind of clinical trials. So the result of such kind of false claiming of clinical trial without performing the clinical trial, okay, it leads to the development of harmful medications. So this is one of the type of scientific misconduct. It is called as a fabrication. So here data is generated without performing any kind of experiment. It is called as a fabrication. So just to control all these scientific misconducts, okay, publication ethics are there. So I hope that now you understood what is meaning of publication ethics. Publication ethics means what? These are the rules and regulations which are telling to the researcher that you should not do this one, and you should, if you are following such kind of practices, it may lead to the retraction of that particular research article, and it may also lead to the severe consequences. I'll discuss at the end of this lecture what are the severe consequences of such kind of malpractices into the research. So one of the scientific misconduct which I had discussed with you is fabrication, data fabrication, I can say that. The next is a data falsification. It means that manipulating the data. So I have observed that most of the time when students they are doing research in MPharm, and if they are not getting the appropriate result, so what they are doing, they are used to alter or omit the data for improving the result. Say that I am performing any kind of animal studies, okay, and one of the my animal is not giving the result as it is expected, or 2 to 3 animals are outliers in my studies, okay. So what I will do, I will just exclude the data of that 3 animals just to improvise the result, okay. So falsification means you are altering or omitting the data for the improvement of the result is called as a falsification. And the best example of falsification is that in clinical trials such kind of practices were observed. So say that they have given someone is performing the clinical trial of any one drug, okay, and 40% people they were suffering from the heart attack in clinical trial. But it has been observed that clinical trial people they used to hide that results of heart attack, okay, and they are saying that rather than 40%, what they are saying that only 10% people they were affected with heart attack. So it means that they have altered the data. So initially actually 40% people they died because of heart attack during clinical trial among the 100 patients or among the 100 volunteers. But rather than claiming a 40% data, they are saying that only 10% people were affected with heart attack and this data is acceptable. On the other hand, 90% people, this drug is very safe in 90% people. So such kind of falsification is normally observed into the clinical trial. So it is one of the type of drug mafia type of the things. So this publication ethics or research ethics are the things which are controlling or which are observing such kind of malpractices which is happening into the publication or which is happening into the research. So far I discussed with you 2 things. The first one is the data fabrication. So data fabrication is what? Generating the data without performing any kind of experiment is called as a data fabrication. Falsification is what? Altering or omitting the data to get the improved result. Okay, that is called as falsification. Now third type of the scientific misconduct is a plagiarism, and normally intentionally or unintentionally I have seen that, okay, students are doing this one, and ultimately if guide is not serious, if guide is publishing the same thing without doing the plagiarism check of that particular manuscript, at that I have observed that guide is responsible or guide will be in trouble because of such a kind of plagiarism issue or copy and paste issue. So what is the meaning of plagiarism? Means taking others' work, okay, and putting in your manuscript without acknowledging that person. For example, I have copied one line from someone's paper, so okay, no issue, I can copy that line, okay, if I need it, okay. But it is very mandatory for me that at the end of that line I must mention the reference from where I have taken that line. If you are just putting the reference of that person, it indicates that you are claiming that line is not yours line. That line, whatever you have taken, is from that particular X paper, okay. So one of the safe practice, even if you are doing copy and paste, so you should acknowledge the person from where you have taken that line, okay. And if you are not acknowledging that person and straightforward you are putting that line or that paragraph in your paper, so it leads to the plagiarism. So you are saying that that line, whatever you are presenting in your research article or review article, is yours. On the other hand, that paragraph is not yours, you have taken it from the others one. In the same way, it may be also seen that unintentionally you cannot, on the other hand, you cannot take the table from someone's paper. If you are taking that table, you must go on that publication site and take the permission for table 1, and in bracket of table 1 you must say that adapted from this and this journal, okay. If you want to copy any kind of image from others article, even, okay, you need to take the permission for that image also. But what I have seen that students they are not aware about such kind of publication ethics, and unintentionally they are copying the tables, they are copying the images from others article while writing the review article. Say that I have taken table 1 from X paper, okay, and I have discussed the thing because what is my presumption that I am writing review article and there is no need of taking the permission for the table 1. But on the other hand, you are taking that table 1 as it is from that manuscript. That's why it is very essential for you to take the prior permission from that publisher that I am taking a table number 1, okay, or from this research article, okay, and kindly grant me permission. And immediately within 1 second, okay, you will get the email. Okay, there are the two kind of permission. One is a paid permission and second is a free permission. So if you are of academic type of the people, if you are writing academic type of the research or review article, so normally all of the journals, they used to grant permission for using any kind of table or for using any kind of images from others research article. Okay, so there is no issue. But most of the students and most of the even faculty members, they are not serious about the review article which is written by the students, and as it is they are publishing it. So when someone observed that this table has been copied from my original research article, and even I have not been acknowledged in that particular manuscript, so he can file the case against you, and that matters comes under the plagiarism, and it could lead to the retraction of paper. So let's see that. So this plagiarism type of the scientific misconduct, I have observed that it happened unintentionally, because students are not aware कि वो क्या कर रहा है, why he is copying. He is feeling that I am just writing a review article, and student feel that writing review article is nothing but the gathering information from multiple research article, and that is called as a review article, isn't it? But due to the unawareness of the laws, due to unawareness of publication ethics, okay, he is doing such kind of mistakes, and that leads to the severe issues. And ultimately, at the end, if guide is not serious about such kind of thing, so at the end, guide will be in problem. Okay, students भाग जाते हैं, ठीक है, they are not taking any kind of responsibilities, but guide ही आखिरी में फंसता है. That's why those teachers who are listening me, you must take this all thing very seriously. You should ask several questions to the student, that from where you have taken this line, so from where you have taken this table, from where you have taken this image, because have you drawn this image at your own. Okay, so many more questions one need to ask to the student if he is writing or she is writing the review article before submitting it to any kind of journal. So let's see that what are the different types of plagiarism. So these are different types of plagiarism: clone plagiarism, verbatim plagiarism, remix plagiarism, and self-plagiarism. So I'll discuss this all types of the plagiarism with you. So let's see the first, clone plagiarism. In clone plagiarism, what happens that a person is taking as it is the research article of someone else and writing his name over there and submitting that as a new manuscript to any kind of journal. Okay. So here you can see that Mr. ABC, it has copied my manuscript. Okay, I'm just quoting the example, it is not original example. Okay, and say that he has submitted the same manuscript to any other journal. Okay, so such kind of plagiarism means what? He has cloned my research article, and it is a clone of my research article. Okay, so such kind of plagiarism is called as a clone plagiarism. So such kind of things were also reported by the editors, where it has been observed that people, they are submitting the same manuscript which is already published in XYZ journal, and the other person is just replacing the name of original author by his name. Okay, and again submitting the same manuscript without any kind of changes or with a little bit modification into the language to other journal. So such kind of plagiarism is called as a clone plagiarism, and it is considered as a very severe issue, and several action, okay, it may be taken against such kind of author. So he could be banned from that publishing house, or several legal action could be taken, because it is serious type of the mistake, it is intentional mistake which is done. Again, I would like to clarify over here that there are the two types of the scientific misconduct. One is intentional and second is unintentional. Okay, an unintentional scientific misconduct, it could be excused. Okay, because editor would understand that authors are not aware about such kind of things. Okay, and that's why such kind of scientific misconduct has happened. So it could be possible that editor could excuse you. Okay, but clone plagiarism is not unintentional type of the thing. It has been it has done intentionally, because you knew very well that it is not your manuscript. Okay, and you are just taking that manuscript from of others manuscript, and you are just replacing the name of author with yours name and communicating that manuscript with slight changes into the body of the manuscript to other journal. So it is not unintentional, it is intentional type of the scientific misconduct. So severe action normally taken by the editors. Okay, so it is one of the type of the plagiarism. Second plagiarism is a verbatim plagiarism. So I can say that it is an unintentional type of the plagiarism, which is normally done by the all students because they are not aware about this scientific misconduct. So I have observed that even in my lab, when we are saying to our student that please write down the review article, so as such they are copying the paragraphs from others article and putting into the review article. So here you can see that a complete paragraph has been taken, which is highlighted over here in blue color, which is highlighted over in blue color from the reference number 3. As it is, he has pasted. So copying and pasting the paragraph from others manuscript, okay, is called as a verbatim type of the plagiarism. So it is excusable, okay, but just to find out such kind of plagiarism, it is the responsibility of guide to check for the manuscript for the plagiarism, okay, and automatically guide will understand that yes, the plagiarism, so this paragraph is completely matching with the reference number 3. It means that student has copied it as it is from that particular journal, okay. So it is a moral responsibility of guide to check the manuscript before going for the submission, okay. So Turnitin or iAuthenticate, these are the software which can guide you about the plagiarism, okay. The next is remix or plagiarism. In this case, what author is doing, okay, he is taking many more lines from different articles. So here you can see that this magneto retrooptical fluid falls. This line he has taken from the reference number 0, and another line, sorry, reference number 13. Okay, another line he has taken from reference number 9. Other line he has taken from reference number 11. So what he has done the patching up the things. Okay, he has taken one line from one research article, second line as it is from second research article, and here you can see that he has not cited that author also. Even if you are copying that same line from any journal, any research article, and if you are quoting at the end of that line that this reference of that particular paper, so even it is not considered as a severe type of the plagiarism, because you yourself is claiming that I have taken this line and the reference is this one, okay. But here you can see that these are the 3 lines, okay, and you can't find any kind of reference at the end of sentences. It means that author is claiming that it is my own work, okay. So such kind of sentences which are taken from different papers and put into one manuscript is called as remix type of the plagiarism. The next is a self-plagiarism. In self-plagiarism, what happens that, okay, if author is working in the same streamline, okay, so it may happen that, okay, he would be using the some of the paragraph from his own published paper. So it is called as self-plagiarism. It is not considered as a severe issue, because if someone is working in the same line, okay, so it could be possible that, okay, few lines or few paragraphs maybe may seems like a plagiarize, okay. So in this situation, it is the responsibility of author to write down that same paragraph, okay, to rewrite that paragraph, okay, in different language. So in this way you can avoid the self-plagiarism. Normally such kind of self-plagiarism is observed. For example, if you are working on anti-inflammatory activity and you have performed some animal model, and all the steps of that animal model, it remains same, so, okay. So in that case, what happens that you cannot modify the, so student, what they used to do, they used to copy the same procedure of anti-inflammatory and they're writing the same procedure in other article, in their own article, okay. So in that case, what you can do, you just paraphrase the sentence or try to write down the same procedure in different language. In this way you can save from the self-plagiarism. So this is a software which is normally used for the plagiarism check, that is a Turnitin, and the second is the iAuthenticate. And many more free softwares are also available, but issue with the free softwares are that they are not that much updated one, and hence they cannot exactly determine the plagiarism in the manuscript. Their percentage and percentage of Turnitin and iAuthenticate, it may vary. And the minimum plagiarism or similarities, plagiarism is, it is something different. The right word is what I can say that paraphrasing, I can say that. Plagiarism is what? You are just stealing the work, okay, that is called plagiarism, okay. On the other hand, the real meaning is that similarity is the right word, okay. So it could be possible that I am writing anti-inflammatory activity of this compound. So this word anti-inflammatory activity of this compound, it could be written in many more manuscript, okay, isn't it? So even software will consider it as a similarity. So in this case, how much percentage similarity is allowed? So 15% similarity is allowed, because I am writing that we have performed the anti-inflammatory activity using the Wistar rats or whatever it may be, okay. So of course this word would match, this line will match with someone other's work, okay. Even I am not aware whether he has used the same line, okay. But due to the same animal model, it could be possible that the words, okay, and the sentence may match with each other. In that case, you need to paraphrase it. You need to write down, you need to change the sentence, okay. So how much similarity is allowed? 15% similarity is allowed, okay. And now, how to avoid the plagiarism? Plagiarism is another question. So these are three ways by which you can avoid the plagiarism. The first is adding the quotation mark, second is paraphrasing, and third one is summarizing the thing, okay. So let's discuss the first way of quotation. For example, I want to take this statement, okay, this sentence from this article. So you can see that I have put the two inverted colon over here, commas over here, okay. So this is called as a quotation mark. So if you want to copy any line, okay, from any journal, okay, any article, okay, so you can put that line as it is, okay. For example, one of the feature of drug addiction is the reinforcing effect, and here I have added the double inverted comma or quotation mark, and also I have added the name of person, name of author, okay, from where I have copied this sentence. So that's why even if you are copying the sentence as it is, okay, it is very essential to acknowledge that person, that researcher, okay, from where you have taken that line. So if you are acknowledging that, okay, with a double inverted comma, so it will not consider again as a plagiarism. But it doesn't mean that कि आप सारे के सारे manuscript को double inverted comma में डाल दो, ठीक है? Again, it is not scientifically fine. Okay. So in some cases, okay, if you want to back reference, for example, this research is in continuation of the previous research which is conducted by Mr. Patel, okay, and in the research work, okay, so you can mention whatever the thing which is done by Mr. Patel in double inverted comma. So and at the end of that sentence, you are also adding the reference of Mr. Patel. So it is not considered as a plagiarism. On the other hand, you are strengthening your findings. You are saying that this research work is in continuation of the earlier work which is carried out by Dr. Patel, isn't it? So putting the quotation mark. So several times what happens that several terminologies are there, okay, which we cannot paraphrase. For example, anti-inflammatory activity, okay, you cannot change it. You cannot write this anti-inflammatory activity in different way, okay. Say that you said that edema method you have adopted, okay, or for say that you have performed this and that model. So in that model, several words will be repeated again and again, and there won't be any kind of substitution to that word. For example, anti-cancer activity. So how will I write the anti-cancer activity in different way? So in that case, okay, just to avoid that similarity, just to minimize that similarity from up to the 15%, you can add the double inverted comma over that particular words, okay. So for example, over the past several decades, this is a quite common word, so I can put double inverted comma over here. So in this way, quotation mark, okay, and citing that particular author can save you from this scientific misconduct. Another is the paraphrasing, okay. If I am writing the review article, of course I am writing the findings of others. I am summarizing the findings of others, okay. But it is not allowed that you can take as it is the line of original article. In this case, what you can do, okay, you can write down the same sentences in your own words, okay. That is called as a paraphrasing. And even if you are writing the same sentences, whichever it is written into the original research article, even and you have written it in your own words, even it is essential that at the end you must cite the reference of that paper from where you have taken the original ideas. So in this way, by using paraphrasing, you can generate the new sentence. And nowadays, with the help of the ChatGPT, it's quite easy. But when I was in PhDs or when I was in MPhil, it was very difficult for us to write down the things in our own language, okay, because you are losing the beauty of the sentences. It has been observed. But those new people, okay, you are quite lucky that nowadays ChatGPT is there. Okay, if you are copying the sentence from X journal, you just write down to ChatGPT that paraphrase it. So ChatGPT will generate the same sentence, same content, okay, with the different words. Okay, so it is very easy nowadays to paraphrase this thing, but it is very essential that even after paraphrasing, you should add the name of that particular researcher, okay, from where you have taken that sentence. So in this way, you can avoid the paraphrasing. And the last option, the paraphrasing, when just if I'm talking 5 years back, so we don't have chat GPT and other things, okay, so we used to I have observed that people used to do the active voice to the passive voice, okay. For example, ye dil deewana, so deewana hai ye dil, so it is considered as a new sentence, okay. So doing such kind of thing, again, it is not paraphrasing. Paraphrasing means what? Writing the original content, okay, whatever it is already published, in your own way, okay, not just changing from active voice to passive voice or passive voice to active voice. But normally before 5 to 6 years back, people used to do just used to change from active to passive voice just to get rid of this all issues of paraphrasing, okay. And third option by which you can avoid the plagiarism is summarize. So in the previous slide I had told you that you can paraphrase the thing. Paraphrase means what? Writing the same content in your word, okay. And the last option is that summarizing. For example, this is one paragraph, okay, and I want to take this one paragraph into my review article. So in this case, what I can do, I can summarize this whole paragraph in few lines, okay. So again, it is allowed, but provided that, okay, you must add the reference of the person from where you have taken the original content. So in this way, this is a third type of the scientific misconduct which we have seen, that is called as a plagiarism. So far we have seen the three types of the scientific misconducts. The first one is a fabrication, data fabrication. The second one is falsification, and third one is plagiarism. So these are the different kinds of plagiarism tools which are available. So editors of the journal, they used to prefer the iAuthenticate and Turnitin. Both are the paid softwares, okay, and you need to pay the huge amount of money for iAuthenticate and Turnitin. It is not possible for a common man to go with this one. But in most of the central universities and central institute of government of India, this facilities is available. So if your friend is there in central universities or somewhere else, you can send your manuscript to them, okay, and get the reports. And wherever you find that this content is matching with other orally previously published manuscript, in that case you can go with three options. Either you can paraphrase that one, either you can put double inverted commas over there, or you can summarize that thing. So in this way you can get rid of the plagiarism issue. Scribbles, Qtex, BibMe and Plagiarism Checker X, these are some free softwares, okay, but their database is not that much up to date. That's why they are unable to find out the similarities, okay, they are not that much equipotent as compared to the Turnitin and Authenticate, okay. So that's why I kindly request to the all research guides who are listening me that don't believe on the students, don't communicate the manuscript review article which is written by the student as it is without doing any kind of plagiarism checking. If you are communicating this manuscript, okay, and if it get published, and if someone tomorrow if someone raises questions, so of course student may not be in trouble, but guide will be in trouble, and it may lead to the severe consequences, and at the end guide will be in trouble because student bhag jata hai na, he'll be doing a job after, okay, so he'll be saying that madam or sir मुझे तो पता नहीं था, okay, क्या ऐसा नहीं करना होता है. So this lecture, I must be thankful to the clinical pharmacy department that they have kept this lecture. And you people are quite lucky that at B.Pharm stage or at early stage of before your research, okay, you are listening to this publication ethics. So this all are the ethics. So ethics says that don't fabricate. Ethics is saying that don't falsify the things. Ethics is saying that don't do the plagiarism, okay. And if you are doing the plagiarism, okay, so what are the ways, okay. So plagiarism is very severe if you are taking the lines from someone's work without giving credit to that particular researcher, isn't it? So it is considered as a very severe offense if you are not giving a credit to that particular person. And if you are copying the things and if you are putting the him or her as a reference at the end of line, it will not be considered as severe issue again, because you are saying that it is not your line, okay, this line belongs to that person and I have already acknowledged that person at the end of that line. But again it is said that you should not again copy as it is that line, okay. You should either paraphrase, you summarize it, okay. And if you want to give the reference of previous work, only in that case you can go for the double inverted commas. So I already explained you that, okay. If I do say that this plant, okay, anti-inflammatory activity of this plant is already done by Mr. XYZ, and here we are going for the enzymatic activity. So when I am saying that anti-inflammatory activity of this plant is already done by XYZ, so I can copy the sentences as it is from that work. So copying the sentence in this case, in fact, it is strengthening your manuscript, because you are double quoting and double inverting the things. Yes, this activity and anti-inflammatory activity this plant is already reported by Mr. XYZ, and here further we are going for the mechanistic approach. We are saying that through which pathway it is responsible for inducing the anti-inflammatory activity. So in this case, copying this as it is line is no issue, okay, other than it is strengthening the thing, okay. But if you are writing review article, in review article I have seen that students they are copying and pasting. So severe issues are if you are copying pasting the paragraphs, severe issues are there when you are copying and pasting the tables as it is. Severe issues are there when you are copying and pasting the images as it is. So even if you want to copy and paste the tables and images, you need to go to the publication, go to that particular publication online. There is one icon called as permission, okay. I'll show you that how to take the permission. Maratha madam, I'll show it. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, for example, I'm opening any one research article. I'll open my own page. Can you see this my screen, madam?
Yes, sir.
Can you see this my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is my own review article, okay. Here you can see that there is option of get, rights and content. Can you see this one, madam?
Yes.
Okay, so say that I am interested in this images, okay, say that this image, okay. So I have to go on the get rights and content. So automatically new form will open over here. So you need to fill this forms, okay. And here it is asking that make a selection for you, what purpose you need this one. So I'm saying that I'm reusing this image for journal or magazine, okay. After choosing this journal or magazine, it will direct me on the next page. So it is say that I am Anna, who are you? So actually they are giving it at no cost to the academic people. So you can see that you are academic or educational institute. I have chosen it over here. The intent publisher. So the next question is that where you will be publishing. So if you are publishing in the same house, okay, say that this article is of elsewhere, okay, and if I am publishing elsewhere, so there are chances that they will easily give you the permission without any kind of money, okay. So say that this article is of elsewhere, okay, and whatever the new review article which I am writing, again it is it will be in this elsewhere. So there is no issue. If you are going in other publishing house, so it depends, okay, how they will charge, okay. I would like to use, so you must mention that what you are using. So I can mention that I want to use the cover image, okay, or you can mention you want to reuse the figure, okay. Circulation, it is not essential. My format is that how your publication will be published, so it will be in electronic and print format. Then even you cannot take your own article's image, okay. So it is asking that I am the author of this article. Even if it is my article, I cannot take the same image in others' article. So yes, I am saying that yes, I am the author of this article, okay. It is my own article, okay. Whether you are translating, because as several papers they are in Russian language, okay. So I am not translating it anything else. So at the end it will tell you the quick price, okay. So click on the quick price. So it will show you that how much will be the cost, okay. So I'll write something like that. Okay, circulation, say that hundreds of copies, 1,000 copies. What happened? Due to nature of your request, review by answer is required. You will be notified this and via email. So submit your request. Click on continue. Also, as such, okay, there is some issue while filling this one. Okay, my current currency say that okay, USD circulation. I'm not going to circulation. Just wait. Okay, so there is some issue. Okay, so when you click on quick price, it will say that free of cost. Okay, or either they will mention some price over here. Okay, so next when you will go on continue. Okay, so you will get you have to log in inside this portal. Okay, after that if they are giving it free of cost, okay, so you can save after login inside this page. Okay, you will get the mail that yes, you have permission has been granted for taking this table or for taking this figure from this article. So in this way you need to take the permission for particular table or for particular what I can say that particular images. Okay, I hope that you understood. So these are the three different types of the scientific misconduct which we have so far discussed. The first one is the fabrication, second is the falsification, and third one is the plagiarism. Now we are seeing the fourth one, redundant publications. So those teachers who are listening to me, so those listen, Madam, please unmute yourself. Mute yourself. So those I have observed that PhD researcher, especially such kind of things, has been observed with PhD research scholar. At the end of 5 years or 6 years, say that they have the pressure to publish the research article. Otherwise, they will be having issue in getting the PhDs. Okay. So in such cases, it has been observed that the researcher is submitting the same manuscript to the 2 or 3 journals, because say that one journal is taking a 3-month time and after 3 months he is rejecting that manuscript, so there is complete wastage of that 3 months. So again, another thing which I would like to raise through this lecture is that we are talking about the ethics for the authors, but there should be a need, there is need of ethics for the editor also. Okay, एडिटर्स व्हेन दे आर डूइंग, तो हमने किया तो हम सही सब ठीक है, आपने किया तो आप गलत हो. ओके, so such kind of things are not acceptable. Okay, so if I have observed that PhD student, they are in hurry and worry. Okay, say that someone has completed 4 year, 5 year, 6 year, what it may be, and due to the research article, if his PhD is stuck, so in that case, of course, PhD scholar will be communicating the same manuscript to the 2 different journals. So from researcher point of view, it is considered as a scientific misconduct. But I personally feel that a journal editor must mention on his page that we are giving a first decision in just 10 days or 5 days. Okay. So nowadays they are doing such kind of thing. In most of the journal, you will find that they have written that how many days they will be providing to, in how many days they will be providing the first decision. So you must, for example, if you are in hurry and worry, in that case you must go with those journal which are giving their first decision, just say that in 5 days, 7 days, 8 days, 10 days, and those journal which are having the highest impact factor, say that about 10 or above 5, normally they are practicing it. Okay, so immediately you will get their emails within 2 to 3 days, either your manuscript is suitable for their journal or not. So editor itself is going to see the manuscript. Okay, and if he feels that manuscript is not suitable, so within 2 or 3 days you will get the mail that your manuscript, they are not mentioning that your manuscript is not suitable, they are writing you that we are getting this n number of articles and that's why we are unable to accept your article at this position. Okay, so they are little bit diplomatic over here. But the issue is that if someone is taking a 3 month and 4 months time, okay, and after 4 months you are getting a mail that okay, your article doesn't fall in area first area of our article. Okay, so it is something a different one. So here the researcher, especially PhD scholars, they used to be in tension, and such kind of a misconduct, scientific malpractices or misconduct is normally done by the research scholars. So they are submitting the manuscript, okay, to the same manuscript to 2 different journals. Okay, so it is called as a redundant publications. Okay. Another issue which I like to highlight here is that some of the people, what they are doing, okay, they are publishing the same data, okay, same data in multiple papers. Okay, say that anti-inflammatory activity of one of the plant, okay, this result is also published in one article, okay. In another article, what I am doing, I am also adding the comparative study of anti-inflammatory activity of, say that A plant, which is already published over here. Then in next article I will add the anti-inflammatory activity of A and B. Otherwise I will add the anti-inflammatory, if in one article I have published the anti-inflammatory activity of petroleum extract, okay. In another article I will add the anti-inflammatory activity of petroleum extract as well as what? Of ethanolic extract. So it is considered as a duplicate publication. Means you are publishing the almost same kind of data in different kinds of journal. So this is called as a redundant publication issues. So it is considered as one of the misconduct, scientific misconduct. So one should not do such kind of thing. So here I am not just discussing the issues with you, I am also providing the solutions. So if you are in hurry worry, okay, if you want to submit manuscript and if you want immediate result, you just visit the page of that particular manuscript, okay, and see that how much time they are taking for first decision. So say that if they are taking 21 days or 7 days, okay, or 3 days or 4 days, so you first try to communicate your manuscript to such kind of journal, because immediately within 3 days, 7 days or 21 days you will get the response from their site, and you will be free to communicate that manuscript then to any other journal, okay. So this is my suggestion over here. The next is image manipulation. It is normally done by the researcher, okay, and such kind of things nowadays are quite common. Those people who are doing the PhDs from the not well recognized university, okay, just for the sake of name, most of the people they are doing a PhDs, okay, even some researchers they are doing a PhDs from such kind of universities which are not well known, okay, which are just UGC approved, and they expect just one publication or two publication. So in that case people used to manipulate the image. So here you can say that this is a right side of the image, okay, and author has, okay, in this is a Western blot result, okay. In another image you can see that he has just rotated this image, okay. So this is a one right side of the image, okay, protein, okay, and this is a rotated side of the image. So in this way image manipulation is normally done, okay. But nowadays with the development of artificial intelligence, okay, editor, most of the publication they have the image processor in their portal, okay, and that image processor will itself check whether that image is genuine or not, okay. I think that Villay, they have started such kind of services. So if you are submitting your manuscript to the Villay or Taylor and Francis, so they are asking that, okay, you just include your manuscript for the quality checkup. So if your manuscript is genuine one, okay, so automatically it will tell you that so if your image is genuine one, okay, so it will tell you that yes, your image is okay, there is no issue. And if your image is manipulated one, it can easily detect that this image has been taken from this and that article and it is totally manipulated. So with the help of the artificial intelligence nowadays, there is some sort of breaks on such kind of malpractices. So one should not do such kind of image manipulations, okay. It is one of the type of scientific misconduct. So first scientific misconduct which we have discussed is data fabrication, means generating the result without publishing, without doing any kind of experiment. Second is a falsification, which I have discussed with you. It means that modifying the data to get the better result. Third is a plagiarism, okay, means copying the things from someone's article and adding in your manuscript without giving a credit to that particular person is called as plagiarism. Fourth one which I discussed with you is that duplicate publication and the image manipulation. The next is authorship dispute. It is normally observed in all kind of academics one. For example, मेरा normally M.Pharm student में मैंने ये देखा है, ठीक है. If there is group of 4 to 5 people and if they want to increase their number of publication, so what they are doing, okay, gift authorship, okay. So if I am working over here, मेरे 2-4 friend है, तो what I will do, I will add the name of my friend in my manuscript and I will tell my friend to add my name in their manuscript. So it is called as gift authorship. Again, it is not acceptable at all, okay, because my friend has not contributed anywhere in my manuscript, isn't it? So ethically it is wrong, okay. Ethically you should include the name of only those people who has really contributed in that manuscript. So when I would like to share my own experiences. Right now I am talking with a Japanese scientist, okay. and I said that I'm writing one of the review article and I would like to add your name in that one. So he says that no, I'm not interested at all unless and until I have some contribution in that one. So he said that you please send that manuscript to me. Okay, I will give my inputs in that one, and then I'll think that whether you can include my name in that manuscript or not. So I sent that manuscript review article to him. Okay, he properly gone through that manuscript review article. He has given his inputs over there. Okay, and after giving all kind of suggestion and inputs, okay, he at the end ready to add his name in the review article. So that's why in the first slide which I discussed with you, ethics is not a rules and regulation, it is a character. It is a character. So it is expected that scientists should have a moral character. Scientists or researchers should have a proper character. If it is proper, so everything will be properly fine. Again, some things which happen in India is that guides are not that much serious. They believe on the students, और स्टूडेंट ऐसे होते हैं कि उनको बस 2-4 महीने में प्रोजेक्ट करके भागना होता है, इवन इफ दे आर नॉट गेटिंग द रिजल्ट. सो एट एनी हाउ दे आर मैनिपुलेटिंग दैट रिजल्ट्स, ओके, एंड सबमिटिंग टू द गाइड. और गाइड को पता ही नहीं होता है कि सच काइंड ऑफ थिंग हैज बीन ऑलरेडी डन इन द बैकग्राउंड. समटाइम्स स्टूडेंट्स वेर नॉट calibrated one. Okay, it is unintentional type of the thing which has been done. So this lecture will open your eyes for this eyes of the students that unintentional misconduct is okay, it's acceptable, okay, but your guide will be in problem if it is exposed. Okay, but if it is intentional type of the thing which is done by the student, and if your guide is not aware, again your guide will be in problem. So it is a moral responsibility of guide that don't believe on the student. Don't believe. Okay, if I used to visit thrice or 4 times in my lab, okay, because I never believe on the student. I never believe because I knew that, okay, a student they don't have a long-term goals. They feel that at any how to go to, I have to do this study, okay, and I have to out from this institute, and he's working just for his thesis work. Okay, so by the way, I'm talking about the authorship dispute. So another is a ghost authorship. Okay, so ghost authorship means what? Adding the name of person who does not contributed. So gift authorship means what? It is also seen that, for example, I am working over here and my wife is also from pharmacy, but right now she has taken the gap of 1 year, okay, and she is handling my house. So just to increase her profile, what I will be doing, I will be adding her name in my manuscript. So again, it's called a gift authorship. If I'm adding the name of my friends, okay, who has not contributed in my manuscript, again it is called as gift authorship. Okay, so such kind of things are not allowed. Okay, ghost authorship means what? Adding the name of person who has not at all contributed. Okay, so it is against ghost authorship. Okay, so it is against considered as a it is not that much serious. Okay, but it is considered as a scientific misconduct. Guest authorship. Okay, for example, there is one famous person, okay, who is working in my field. Okay, so I would like to add his name in my manuscript. The reason is that I want, because of his name, okay, there are chances that my manuscript will be getting accepted. So it is called as a guest authorship. Okay, but most of the people, those who are great scientists or those who are working really hard, okay, they never allowed your guest authorship until they give their inputs. Okay, so it is also a practice which is done by the researcher. They are adding the name of famous person, okay, in their manuscript, and the reason of adding the name of such kind of famous person is that by seeing, because when editor is opening any kind of manuscript, so everything opens in front of him. Okay, who is the author? Okay, उनकी पूरी कुंडली खुल जाती है वहाँ पर. Okay, and if the famous author is there, okay, in your manuscript, so it gives positive impact to the editor that this manuscript from this person who is already well known in this field. Okay, so but this practice is again considered as a malpractice or scientific misconduct, so it should not be done. Conflict of interest, it is a very severe issue. So whenever we are submitting any kind of manuscript, nowadays it becomes very essential that you should submit the conflict of interest later. Okay, so those students who are listening me, your guide may be aware about this later. So this another type of the scientific misconduct. So here what has been done, so most of the industry say that this is one of the drug which is there in market, okay, and I want to create a question mark on this drug. Okay, so I will perform such kind of studies that this drug is having such kind of side effects. Okay, and these side effects were hidden while performing the clinical trials. Okay, so I am creating the biasness of this drug, and such kind of things are normally, such kind of projects are normally funded by the industry. तो देखिए ये साइंटिफिक मिसकंडक्ट्स ये सभी जगह पर है, ठीक है, ओके, एंड देयर आर मेनी थिंग्स, ओके, देयर आर मेनी इंटेंशन बिहाइंड द साइंटिफिक मिसकंडक्ट. So that's why nowadays it is very compulsory that you must disclose your interest. For example, even I'm working in say that particular X industry, okay, so I must tell that I am the person of X industry and I am claiming this side effect. So whoever listening, whoever reading your research article, okay, he'll understand that, okay, if you are disclosing your interest, so it means that you are very clear, you are mentioning, you are already disclosing that your intention is not to create the biasness, okay, and you are not supported by any kind of industry, okay, financial, you are not supported by any kind of industry for the finance for creating the biasness of that particular drug, okay. So that's why it is very clear that you must declare the conflict of interest, okay. So it is another type of the scientific misconduct. The last one is salami slicing. Salami slicing means that publishing the research, okay, in multiple papers, okay. Say that I have performed the anti-inflammatory activity, okay, again I have performed the analgesic activity of any kind of plant, okay. So I'll be going that yes, I have isolated, extracted the extract of particular X plant, and in one article I am reporting the anti-inflammatory activity of that one. In another article I am reporting the analgesic activity of that one, okay. Although this work is genuine, there is no issue, but author has divided the same work into the two papers. The reason is that he want to increase the number of publication, okay. So it is called as slicing the publication, salami slicing the publication, and actually it should not be done, because if someone is reading the analgesic activity of your paper, so he may not be aware about the anti-inflammatory effect, or if he is reading anti-inflammatory activity of your compound, so he may not be aware about the analgesic activity of the same compound. So it may lead to the misrepresentation of the data, okay. So your compounds or whatever the extract which you have extracted, actually it is having both the activity, anti-inflammatory and analgesic one, okay, but you have presented the two publications. So if I am not reading the analgesic paper of yours one, so I'll be concluding that this plant is having only anti-inflammatory activity, okay, and not analgesic one. So such kind of a misinterpretation would be done, okay. That's why it is expected that when you are doing a complete research, it should be in a single publication. In fact, it is increasing the weightage of your study, and nowadays it is expected that you must give huge data in the publication. You should support all the findings, okay. So nowadays what I am saying to my student is that you must keep the separate notebook, okay, lab notebook, okay, and even nowadays I am planning to submit that lab notebook in the supplementary information, okay, so that gives idea to the others people who are reading this article. Yes, this is a lab notebook, and what kind of optimization, what kind of ups and downs they have gone through their research, other people will come to know that, okay. So such kind of good practice one need to adopt in the lab, okay. So this is called last salami slicing. Now my question is that what are the reasons for the scientific misconduct, okay. So let's have a discussion. आपको क्या लगता है कि scientific misconduct करने के लिए क्या क्या reason हो सकते हैं? So this question is open for the discussion, okay. And I request participant to answer either in chat box. Let's see that what is your reply. क्या लगता है आपको, क्या रीजन हो सकता है कि साइंटिफिक मिसकंडक्ट होता है? सो व्हाट कुड बी द प्रॉबल रीजन फॉर दैट वन, ओके. सो यू कैन राइट डाउन योर आंसर्स इन द कमेंट बॉक्स. Participant, are you listening me? You can write down your answer in the chat box. Yes, let's see that who is writing. Yes. Yes, participant, can you share your views? What are the probable reason that why one is doing such kind of misconducts, scientific misconducts? What are the probable reason from your end? Please write down your views in chat box. 25 people are there. My question is that what are the probable reasons for the scientific misconducts? if it is intentional or unintentional, what could be the probable reason for such kind of a scientific misconduct which is done by the either student or guide intentionally or unintentionally? What could be the reasons? What could be the probable reasons? Yes. So I discussed several types of the scientific misconduct with you, that is falsification of applications, plagiarisms, image manipulation, this all thing. So आपको क्या लगता है कि ये जो होते हैं इसके लिए और कौन कौन से रीजन रिस्पॉन्सिबल है? Because I knew that maximum cases they were unintentional. In fewer cases it may be intentional one. So what could be the reasons? Yes, please participant, write down your answer into the chat box. There is no answer, okay. So I'll discuss with you, okay. Marathi madam, can you see my slide?
Yes, sir. Some answers are there in chat box.
Okay. I think that I'm unable to see that. No, ma'am, there is.
Yes,
Yes,
there are some. Yes.
Vishal Rajguru. Okay, he said. Yes, madam says that unawareness of scientific ethics. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, you properly mentioned that unawareness is one of the reason. Okay, that student they are committing the mistakes. Okay. For example, when the guide is saying to the student that write down the review article, so student feel that writing review article is nothing but the gathering the information and putting into the manuscript. Okay. So in that case, a student is not aware that actually what are the rules and regulations, even if you are gathering the information or collecting the information for the review article. Okay. So unawareness is one of the main reasons. Okay. Vishal Rajguru says that copy some images and uses in Chat GPT. Nowadays people feel that Chat GPT can help you. Okay. They are copying the images and putting into Chat GPT, and they are again regenerating. Okay, but you should not forget that if you have the Chat GPT, so editor they have the I authenticate and they turn it in type of the softwares which easily identify that whether this image is generated by the researcher itself or it is generated by the Chat GPT. So many more reasons would be there. Let's have a discussion on that reason. Madam, please unmute yourself.
Yes.
Mute yourself, please. Okay. So let's have a discussion of the causes for the scientific misconduct. I feel that in India, one of the major reason is lack of facility is one of the major reason. Okay. So you are interested for doing research, okay, but due to lack of facility, say that I want to perform some microscopic study or histopathology of the brain. Okay. I already conducted the anti-epileptic activity. Okay, but I got the comment from the reviewer that actually you should perform the histopathology. Okay, and already student has passed out from the already he has passed out. Okay, so in that case some of the authors what they are doing, they are taking the images of histopathology from other people. Okay, and they are doing little bit changes in that one and submitting to the review process. Okay, so lack of facility is one of the thing which I observed. Okay, in India specifically. Then second thing is a pressure to publish quickly in academia. It is expected that okay there could be pressure of API, at least you must have one publication, two publication, or this pressure could be there on the PhD scholars also, that without publication it is not possible that are allowed for the test submissions. And this whole thing, even if you read the recent news of UGC, now they said that even publication is not compulsory, but it is something a biased type of the conclusion they have drawn. So now how one can believe that based upon the work, how we can believe that his research is up to mark or not? There is a questions, okay, and this question need to be resolved. Then competitive climate, okay, say that मेरे दोस्त ने 2 publication हो चुके हैं, उसके 10 publication हो गए in a year, okay, and still I am struggling with a 1 publication. So in that case, as a human being, people used to commit this scientific misconduct. Okay, a lack of knowledge is one of the reason. Normally it is observed lack of knowledge type of thing is observed that just like आई हैव द हिस्टोपैथोलॉजिकल इमेजेस ओके बट मेरा नॉलेज नहीं है उतना टू आइडेंटिफाई द हिस्टोपैथोलॉजिकल चेंजेस एंड आई हैव डन सम मिस्टेक while interpreting the result, and that misinterpretation of result leads to the something new unwanted thing. Okay, so that is one of the reason for the it is also called as scientific misconduct of histopathology. You are mentioning that okay something different one, but real me images you are unable to interpret the images. Okay, and you are unable to interpret the images lead to the something different conclusion, and that again comes to under the scientific misconduct. So lack of knowledge is also one of the reason for the scientific misconduct. Personal ambition, weak data management habits. Okay, so ये मैंने informed student के साथ देखा है, they are not serious at all. Okay, for example, whenever you are doing any kind of experiment, you must keep your lab notebook with you. Okay, and you must include all the things. Okay, for example, if you are doing any kind of behavioral model, it could be the anxiety, it could be depression, it could be the epilepsy type of the thing. So you should do the video recording of that one. Okay, later you can watch that how many times that epileptic attack, seizure attack actually come to the animals. So students, they are not serious while doing that epileptic model, and they are just because of their big data management, they are mentioning that just three seizures were observed into this control group, and in my compounds, in my treated group, only one seizure is observed. Okay. On the other hand, many more seizure attack would be there. Okay. So big data management is also one of the reason for the scientific misconduct. Okay. Many more reasons would be there. Okay. Now, what are the consequences of this one? So first consequences is that your article will be retracted. Okay. The first consequences, if it is unintentional, so the interview won't take any further actions except the retraction of the article. If it is unintentional, okay. The next, if you have done intentionally, okay, if it is open that you have intentionally copied the things, okay, as it is copied the manuscript of others and put your name in that manuscript, it is clearly indicate that it is a intentional type of the scientific misconduct.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, your presentation is not visible.
Presentation. Just wait. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
ये आपको पता चला फिर ये वाला causes of scientific misconduct. So I would like to repeat it again. Okay. So the first reason is that pressure to publish quickly in academia. Okay. As I mentioned in that in API. Okay. If someone wants promotion from assistant to associate professor, so it is expected from the college also that at least you must go with one publication or two publication in a year. So this pressure is also responsible for scientific misconduct. The second reason is that competitive environment. For example, if someone has published 10 research article और मेरा एक भी नहीं हो रहा है तो again that competitive climate, it will promote in me for scientific misconduct. Lack of knowledge, which I discussed with you, that for example if there is one histopathological images I am having, but I am unable to interpret it properly, so due to lack of knowledge I may be concluding something from that image. Okay, again it may come again scientific misconduct. Then big data management habits I mentioned you. For example, if you are performing any kind of a behavioral model in pharmacology, like anxiety study, okay, or if you are performing that depression type of the models or epilepsy type of the model, in that case your physical observations are not sufficient. You should do the video recording of that one, and later you sit properly on the computer and you can see that how many epileptic seizure attacks were there. Okay, so you can properly note down the data. And it is observed that students are not at all serious while they are doing any kind of experiment. So maintaining proper diary is very essential. So it is role of guide that every evening he must take the feedback of the student, what you have done, and show me that result. Okay, we are not that much serious about the students, and we are little bit of freedom which is given to the students. It may lead to such kind of disastrous things. They are manipulating the data. So whatever it may be, student कितने भी गाली दे गाइड को कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, but you should be very active. You should be very possessive with the student. Okay, this is what I am feeling. Okay, otherwise गाइड ही आखिर में प्रॉब्लम में आता है, स्टूडेंट भाग जाता है. Okay, so these are the reason for the causes of scientific misconduct. And what are the consequences? The first consequence is that if it is unintentional type of the scientific misconduct, तो यहाँ पर article it is going to retract. और यहाँ पर आर्टिकल रिट्रैक्शन के लिए आई हैव ऑब्जर्व दैट ओके स्टूडेंट ही रिस्पॉन्सिबल होते हैं। स्टूडेंट गलत इन्फॉर्मेशन गाइड को देते हैं, ठीक है, से दैट समवन हैज गिवन मी और सम वीडियो की बात करते हैं हम, किसने एपिलेप्टिक अटैक सीजर की किसने मुझे ओल्ड वीडियो किसने मुझे ला के दिए, तो ऑफकोर्स आई विल बिलीव दैट वीडियोज ऑल्सो, ओके। जबकि when someone doing the same kind of study and he is not getting that kind of result, so he may file the case, okay, he may raise the query to the journal editor, okay, then that case becomes case opens and it goes on and many more questions would be asked to the corresponding author, okay, and at the end due to the silly mistake of the students that article is getting retracted और बाद में नाम बदनाम किसका गाइड का होता है, ठीक है। So that's why I personally feel that it is a responsible guide to be very stringent, to be very strict with the students. Okay, don't believe on them. ये सब भाग जाते हैं, दो उनको बस they have to be there in the lab for the 2 months, 3 months. They are just after thesis and they are just thinking that how to fly from the lab. Okay. If it is intentional type of the scientific misconduct, okay, so blacklisting of author is also done. Blacklisting means what? After that incident, he is not allowed to submit. Again, there is a two type of blacklisting. Blacklisting in that particular journal or blacklisting in all the journal. Okay. So if it is very severe type of the misconduct, okay, so he will be blocked from the all journals. Okay. So his researcher life will end. Okay. And if it is a little bit moderate type of the intentional type of the scientific misconduct, so he will be blocked. He will be blacklisted in that particular journal. Okay. If it is very severe, again, legal penalties will be taken against him or her. Okay. And at the end, okay, there is a damaged trust, okay, people then again won't believe in that particular author, okay। तो यहाँ पर अगर बच्चा भी गलती करता है तो फर्स्ट यहाँ पर corresponding author ही है, okay। So most of the people they have the desire to be first author, they have the desire to be corresponding author, okay, but it is not that much easy, okay, it is not easy to be a corresponding author। Most of the students they feel that हाँ मेरा गाइड मुझे corresponding author डालता ही नहीं है ना, PhD student के बारे में I observe, okay, but they don't know what is meaning of corresponding author। All the responsibilities, all the communication which will be done by the editor, it will be done to the corresponding author, okay। So being corresponding author means a huge responsibilities are there. It is responsible corresponding author to check all the data, to verify the data before manuscript submission. You must check for the plagiarism, you must check there whether the table, whether the images, whether each and everything is not copied and pasted, okay, and it should not be generated by ChatGPT, okay। Nowadays students they feel very smart, okay, by generating the thesis work, okay, from ChatGPT itself, okay, but again it is scientific misconduct because ChatGPT can't tell you the exact thing। If you find the bottom line of ChatGPT, they have mentioned that don't believe the data which is generated by ChatGPT, okay, this data may be faulty one, okay, but people or student they are nowadays writing a thesis from ChatGPT, no issue। If you have the knowledge, okay, you can write down from ChatGPT because I knew that anti-inflammatory model there is poedema, okay, but ChatGPT is into something different model in that one। So as a student without knowledge, okay, if you are adding that one, so of course you won't be in problem, your guide will be in problem, okay। नाम बदनाम गाइड का ही होता है, स्टूडेंट का कुछ जाता नहीं है, ठीक है। So these are the legal consequences or these are some consequences of scientific misconducts। So how to prevent this all thing? So I personally feel that this lecture itself is example that it is responsibility of guide to promote research ethics or publication ethics among the group। Say that under me 2 or 3 people are there, so I must tell them that you cannot copy the thing, okay, it comes under plagiarism। You cannot take the table as it is from someone's article, you cannot take the figure from someone's article, okay, if you are taking, you must take prior permission from that one। So providing appropriate training to the research to the students is very essential, okay। Then again the third thing which I observed that students should keep all the data ready। If I am submitting any kind of manuscript, so in supplementary information I will communicate each and everything, so it will be very transparent to any kind of person who is reading my manuscript। Yes, ये study तब हुआ था, okay, and these are the some detailed procedure। I cannot write down the detailed procedure into the manuscript, but this is the detailed crude procedure, so you can just copy and paste even your research lab diary into the supplementary information। Whatever the extra data which you have generated, you just try to share into the supplementary information। So if you are keeping a data transparency, so no one can object on your research, okay, and developing such kind of a honest research environment in the lab is essential। And normally in Indian scenario it is very difficult, और अगर आप ऐसा करोगे तो बच्चे गाइड को गाली देते हैं, ठीक है, my guide is very strict, okay, he is observing each and everything, okay, Sometimes doing the double blind type of the study is also essential in pharmacology especially. For example, if a student is getting very significant result as compared to the standard drug which is there in the market, so I should give this the same drug as a blind drug to someone other student. Okay, and I must check that whether the result which is obtained by a student is reproducible into the B. Reproducibility is also another issue. So this all habits we need to inculcate. And at the end, I would like to conclude this lecture by saying that these are the students at the end which are doing such kind of things either intentionally or unintentionally, and I personally feel that it is unintentional type of thing, a scientific misconduct which is done by them, and at the end it is guide who is in problem, and people used to blame the guide. Okay, so those teachers who are listening me, they should take it very seriously because हम ही problem में आते हैं, student भाग जाते हैं. So let's see that कौन बनेगा करोड़पति. I want to see that how many of you have paid attention. So I'll ask that some questions to you. Let's see that whether you have paid attention. I expect all participants to take active participation in this one. So there's the first question on your screen. As per the Greek method, okay, ethos means what? And your options are like quality A, B is example, C is character, and D is essence. Marathi madam, please. I am unable to see the chat box. Okay, please rate the name of the person who is answering and please tell me. So, yes. What is the answer?
Still not getting the answer.
Okay. As per the Greek language, ethos means what? First options are quality, second example, third was the character, and D is essence.
So from participant the answer is A.
Okay.
Or some of participants are saying C.
C. So let's see that what is the right answer. So answer is C. It is character. Okay. Ethics means what? It is character of the researcher. Okay. Which I discussed. Okay. So I also mentioned that as per the Albert Einstein, the great scientists are not those who are having great intellectuals, but great scientists are those who have the high moral character. Okay. So that's why ethics are important. Okay. So right answer is character. So whoever has answered, he'll be getting $500. Please contact Miss Marathi madam. Marathi madam, be ready.
Okay, sir.
Next question is that data fabrication means what? Your options are like manipulating the data, altering the results, generating data without experiment, and D is omitting the results. So participant, you can answer the question in chat box. Data fabrication means what? Yes, madam. What are the answers you are getting over there?
So the answer is A.
Answer is A. Okay. It is as per your opinion or as per the people. Please participant, you can answer. Data fabrication means what? Yes, madam. Are you getting any answer over there?
The data fabrication means the answer A.
Okay.
Manipulating the data.
Okay. Let's see that. Manipulating data is not data fabrication. That is data false.
Participant, the answer is wrong.
Yes, it is a generating data without experiment is called as data fabrication. And falsification means what? Manipulating the data. So, in the next round, you will be getting $5,000. Now we'll come to the next round. Question is that clone plagiarism means what? And options are like that: copying the paragraph, copying the image, submitting others' work as yours one, and copying the table. clone plagiarism means what? Okay. So what could the proper answer? Participant, this round is for you.
So from participants, the answer is C.
C, okay.
Or some participants are saying the answer is A.
Okay. So correct answer is C, okay.
Answer is B is right.
Yes, means taking someone's article as it is and just replacing their name by your name is called as clone plagiarism. So you got $10,000 this round. Now move to the next. Ghost authorship means what? Author has contributed A, partially contributed B, not contributed, and the option is both A and B. Ghost authorship means what? Yes, madam, what answer you are getting over there in chat box?
So the answer is C.
C, exactly, it is right answer.
Not contributed.
Not contributed. Okay, you are just adding the name of person who has not contributed in the manuscript. It's called as ghost authorship. Now we are in the last phase to become millionaire, and the last question is bias risk is associated with conflict of interest, image duplicacy, guest authorship, and all of the above. It is very difficult question. Let's see that who answer this one. Bias risk is associated with. Bias risk is not intentionally creating the biasness in already existing research. Yes, what answer you are getting, madam, over there?
Sir, not yet. The answer is A.
A. Okay, let's see. Yes, it is correct answer. Conflict of interest. Okay, some industry people, they are financing the people to create the biasness. Okay, so that is called as so that's why it is compulsory to declare your conflict of interest. If you are declaring that I am from this and that industry, and if you are doing that research, so it is very clear that your intention is not to create the biasness. Okay. And Marathi madam, you become crore millionaire now.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
So in the conclusion, as I started, the ethics means character, and character as a true measure of scientific conduct. So scientific conduct is nothing but the measurement of character of the research. Okay, but as such, character of researcher is not decided by him. It is also decided by his student or what kind of environment he is maintaining in the lab. Sometimes guide could be the good person, he is having well-known characters, but due to the mistake of students, guide is in problem, okay, and he becomes a bully of scientific misconduct. So this is a conclusion of this whole lecture. I hope that student will take this all thing very seriously, publication ethics, okay, and they will support to their guides. Okay. Thank you so much. If you have a question, now this session is open for the question answer.
Participants, if you have any type of question, you can ask in chat box or just raise your hands. I'm going to unmute